Are you a huge fan of building massive factories? Do you have an automation addiction? Have you completed Satisfactory multiple times throughout the early access period and you're still looking for something more? Well, I've got some great upcoming games that would probably be of interest to you. Get subscribed if you're not subscribed to stay up to date with all of the videos that I'll be putting out on these games and a whole bunch more. Let's get into the games, shall we? I was absolutely blown away by this incredible factory builder when I checked it out on the channel recently. Link to my video up in the top right hand corner right now if indeed you're interested in watching. But this is Main Sequence, and it's a factory builder set on a space station. Well, it's kind of set on multiple different space stations, and you need to build those space stations. You also need to explore space to find the right resources. In asteroids, you need to automate the extraction of those resources from the asteroids with drones, and then you need to move it to the right space station with transport ships. You need to avoid space raiders or pirates. They can destroy your vessels and disrupt your supply lines. After you've got your resources back to the station, from there, it's about automating them. It's about putting these resources on conveyor belts. Think Satisfactory sort of style buildings. So that means furnaces, assemblers, and a whole lot more. And you can use the products of your factory to research more technology, aiding you in resource recovery, faster factories, faster spaceships. You get the picture. The reason that I'm putting this right at the top of my list is that it came out of absolutely nowhere and dropped into a really competent and enjoyable playtest. That is what I have played. Now, there is absolutely nothing with regards to a release date yet for this one. However, I can solidly say that this is probably my most anticipated upcoming factory builder, and if you're a fan of Satisfactory, I think you're really gonna enjoy this one. Get it wishlisted to make sure that you stay up to date with everything on Main Sequence. If you know your automation games, then you may have seen a wave of creators covering this one earlier in the year when there was a limited time playtest. This is Star Rupture, and the name of the game is incredibly apt, incredibly well chosen, because basically every 30 minutes or so, the star nearest to the planet that you're building a factory on ruptures. That's right, it straight up resets the planet, it burns all life, including you, if you're not careful. Now, to counter this, you've got to build a factory, you've got to mine resources, and you've got to explore the planet. To do so, you're gonna have to build stuff, and building stuff will allow you to explore further, and will allow you to defend against perhaps some of the planet's creatures that probably don't want you to be exploring. Anyway, with more resources coming out of the ground, that means more upgrades for your base. You'll be building a pretty extensive internal and external factory in this game. Mines, assemblers, the sort of big stuff are resistant to the exploding sun, and the stuff that you build inside your base is hopefully protected from your regular burning sessions. Now, you won't find belts in this automation game. Nope, they have been replaced with monorails, which are actually quite smart in the sense that they can remove resources from one building into another. They will take resources from wherever they need to go as long as the buildings are connected and they've got rails that are going in the right direction. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more simple, I would say, than sort of belting between buildings. It's not quite as satisfying as placing belts like in Satisfactory, but it's a, sort of different evolution to the concept and definitely sort of sets this title apart. I'm super pumped to see what the full game looks like for Star Rupture. You can see my impressions and gameplay right up in the top hand corner right now. I'll absolutely be playing it when it arrives on the 6th of January 2026. It can't come soon enough. This game does something that I absolutely adore. It takes a simple visual style and absolutely blows your expectations out of the water. This is one of the most interesting factory builders that I think, frankly, I have ever played. It's got all of the regular automation elements that you know and love. It's got miners, it's got assemblers, it's got furnaces, but there are so many more layers to this game. Where to start? I guess firstly, that you're a robot building a drone-run factory to terraform a dead world. Your production literally powers climate control. Drones are basically belts, but you can zone them with much more freedom and flexibility. However, you've got to build the darn things, so make sure that you're mining all of the right resources to get cargo drone production set up ASAP. Oh, and did I mention that this game revolves heavily around weather? Not only do you have to protect your buildings from dust storms, metal storms, and radiation, and you can do that with storm defense buildings, but your objective is literally to terraform the world. However, it's not as easy as you might think, as it brings with it a bunch of challenges. Terraforming spawns different storm types and regional microclimates, sometimes opening new zones, sometimes closing them, and you can harness the storm energy. There's also the very cool fact that you're building a factory on the planet's surface, while at the same time building up a rocket platform in the sky, which can do, different things like launch rockets into space, and also launch stuff down to the planet's surface in order to undertake the terraforming ability. Now, this game genuinely has so much going for it, you'll have to look at it for yourself. And you know what's great news? It's just come out, and at the time of writing, it's still got a demo available, so you can literally just try before you buy. You can try it for absolutely nothing. I did check this one out on the channel also quite recently, so you can go and immerse yourself by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen right now if you want to see some of my gameplay. This is an absolutely massive, tiny factory builder. I realize that's a bit of a weird sentence, but this is honestly a great game. It's Alchemy Factory, and before I say any more, I'm just going to say you should go and play the demo, which is available right now. The full release is planned for December of 2025, and I would strongly encourage you to have a go of the demo right now. This is a medieval alchemy sandbox, where you turn a tiny workshop into an automated production empire. You need to build self-running labs, automate herb grinding, essence extraction, elixir distillation, and even ore transmutation into high-value materials. You've got to be a shopkeeper and a factory builder at the same time. You use your factory to supply high-value potions, metals, and jewels for sale in your shop. Buy more land for your factory, keep expanding, and build more automation infrastructure. Just make sure that you don't become too indebted, so much so that you go bankrupt. Arcane pipe networks push magical liquids through your factories, conveyors and machines snap together, voxel clean for painless 3D layout. Mid-game portal logistics let you skip spaghetti belts and teleport materials right across the workshop. This game honestly has it all, and my most sort of surprising mechanic is really how unbelievably tight it all feels. Play the demo, let me know in the comments what you think of this one. I think it's absolutely excellent, and I cannot wait to play it when it releases fully in December 2025. Moving along, we've got SpaceCraft, and if you like space sandboxes with an automation element, then this online exploration and building game from Shiro Games might just be for you. Now, there's not a huge amount of information available for this title quite yet. Supposedly, it's releasing in 2025, although given that we've not seen a huge amount of information about it, I would suspect strongly that it will be delayed. That being said, there is a lot of space stuff. You're able to jump between systems, you're able to drop down to planet surfaces to scan and explore them, you're able to mine resources, you're able to craft materials, and you're able to turn them into ship parts. And with those ships, you are able to continue to explore the universe and also undertake some missions. You're also able to build a base and automate all of these things, in the form of planetary outposts, able to turn your planets into fully automated hubs with drones, cargo ships, and interplanetary delivery lines. Intergalactic logistics, I'm a big fan of. I can't wait to see more of this one. There has been a few sort of announcements about playtests, but nothing super confirmed as of yet with regards to a release date. But, we can keep our fingers crossed for a release at some point in 2025. But failing that, let's hope at least sometime early in 2026. Of all of the games on this list, the visual style of ATOMSFAR may very well be the most striking, dare I say, interesting. I'll leave that up to you to debate in the comments. But anyway, ATOMSFAR is an open world, sort of sky island exploration building game where you have to haul a mobile airbase across an alien world. Your cloud cruiser is a slow mobile airbase. You're able to store wasps and fuel in the hangar. You're able to furnish the lounge, and you're able to fly the cruiser yourself from place to place. Now, wasps come in 4 different classes with unique abilities and aerodynamics to suit your style and the occasion. You're able to customize a whole bunch of elements. You're able to swap engines. You're able to swap hover sections, or indeed entire hulls. Now, when you're out and about, you need to scavenge or extract resources. You need to craft those resources into something, and you need to upgrade, well, everything, including your cloud cruiser. It's very interesting visually. As to the release date, unfortunately, nothing confirmed more than just the general year, which is 2026. We do know, however, that it's going to have co-op abilities, and you're going to be able to play with up to 4 friends, which is kind of cool. If you're looking for a really early alpha version of something that looks very, very similar to Satisfactory, well, I would strongly advise that you check out Belts of Iron. Full disclosure, this is a one-man band. There is one single developer that is currently developing Belts of Iron, and I think what is here is quite promising. It's very sort of simple at the moment. If you are to check out the demo, or if you want to check out the demo, which you can absolutely do right now at the time of recording, you will see a game that is fairly basic. However, it is an automation game. You do build factories, you do build belts, you do build mines, you extract all of the resources, you can build power stations, you can move stuff across a map, and you can do a little bit of exploring. There are hostile creatures. They're not super hostile or super bad, but just think Satisfactory, but just think very, very dumbed down. Look, as I say, it's not going to set the world alight, I don't think, at least in its current form. However, I've got my fingers crossed that things will improve, things are going to get better, it's going to become a full-fledged game in its own right, and hopefully differentiate itself from Satisfactory in a couple of meaningful ways. But yeah, the demo, it's early, but maybe if you want to see if it's for you, then check it out. You can find links to all of the games that I have mentioned down in the description below. Auroria, I think that's how you say it. It's an open-world multiplayer and co-op sandbox builder. You have to design a base, you have to survive with your pals, and you have to start your own interstellar travel in a relaxed and fun way. What on earth does that mean? I have absolutely no idea. There's not a huge amount of information available with regards to this game. However, what we do know is that, the standard automation base building sort of mechanics are in here. You need to gather resources to design bases, from cozy gardens to full-on castles. Freeform building is absolutely at the heart of this game. There's a sort of cozy life sim layer of farming, fishing, cooking, stockpiling, etc. You're able to progress with survival skills, you're able to tame pets and mounts, you're able to explore, you're able to solve puzzles, and you're able to team up to fight the Wild Lords, whatever the heck they might be. There's also some tech trees, and, it looks fairly sort of sophisticated from these early gameplay trailers. Either way, nothing as to a release date, it's just listed as coming soon. This is probably more of a sort of survival game than a straight factory builder, but it's absolutely got similar elements to Satisfactory. Now, this is Railborn, and you turn a train into a base. Bit by bit, carriage by carriage, you extract resources, you manage those resources, you craft them into something, you upgrade your train, and you explore the world. It's a very, very cool concept. Think Snowpiercer, but, without the snow. I'm sure there's probably going to be some snow in the game, but at least from what I can see right now, no snow. Anyway, I really like the idea of transforming your train from literally a single carriage to, building a huge, great great engine and slapping it down in front of your, in front of your little tiny ramshackle operation, and just using that to sort of explore the world. There's a tech tree. You're able to upgrade a whole bunch of stuff. There's really not a huge amount to go on because the release date has yet to be announced, so we're just going to have to wait for a little bit more information. We do know that it's multiplayer, and so if you want to play with chums, you absolutely can do that in Railborn. I'm super excited for this one. I really just want to play it. I just want to dive in and play it. This is a game that has been in development for what feels like forever, but when I played, and it was years and years ago, mind you, a playtest, it was actually pretty darned fun. So this is Hostile Mars. It's kind of a swarm defense sort of style game, crossed with a factory builder. You need to build a fortified base and design kill corridors with walls, traps, and upgradable turrets to defend against the swarm. Now, you're going to be fighting enemy drones in escalating waves, and you need to keep your core alive as the pressure continues to ramp up. You're able to undertake a whole bunch of automation things. You're able to set up delivery bots to harvest ores and resupply lines so that you can focus on planning and designing your defenses. It's actually really, really competent, I think, and enjoyable in a way that perhaps doesn't come across in some of the trailer footage that you're seeing right now, or indeed some of the images on the Steam page. But I can certainly attest, when I played the game, long ago though it was, I had a grand old time, and that really, I think, is the most important thing for when you're playing a factory builder. But look, are you going to be checking out any of these games on this list? Then you should absolutely let me know down in the comments below. Are you interested in Hostile Mars? Again, very interested to hear what you've got to say in the comments. So that's it for now. If you are interested in more upcoming factory builders, then you can click on this video on screen right now. It'll take you right to that video, so you can go and watch it and enjoy some more factory building content beamed directly to your eyeballs. Anyway, I'm super excited for all of these games. Are you? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you ever so much for watching, folks, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.